can't tell if the chemistry's good by looking at it. It wasn't clear yesterday. For the last time, the saltwater pool is a chlorine pool.
This is the Talking Pools podcast with pool pros from every region in the country. If it happens in a pool, you'll hear about it here. Everything from tips and hacks to the latest tricks and trends. Breaking news, we lay it on the line. We tell it like it is because we think you deserve to know.
Before we get into today's episode, I want to take a moment to recognize the incredible companies supporting my Tennessee Triple Crown Open Water Swim Challenge, benefiting every child a swimmer. First, I'd like to thank RevDip Apparel, the official apparel sponsor of the campaign, and H2 Flow Controls. Thank you both for believing in the mission and helping making this possible. This week, I'd also like to give a very special shout out to two more amazing sponsors who have joined the journey. Thank you to Talking Pools Podcast for supporting not only this fundraiser, but for also providing an incredible platform to share the mission with the aquatics industry. Your support and encouragement mean more than you know, and I'm truly grateful to be a part of the Talking Pools family. I'd also like to thank 10Jam for coming on board as a sponsor. Your commitment to supporting water safety and helping every child a swimmer provide life-saving swim lessons is greatly appreciated. Thank you for believing in this cause and for being a part of this journey. I also want to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone who has already visited the public donation page, made a contribution, and left such kind and encouraging messages. It's truly meant the world to me, and I sincerely appreciate every one of you. Your support and encouragement continue to motivate me as I prepare for these swims. As many of you know, I'll be swimming more than 21 miles across 3 open water swim marathons to raise money for every child a swimmer through my fundraiser, She Swims So They Can. Donations will be accepted through October 3rd following my final marathon. And for those asking, my swims are September 13th, September 20th, and October 3rd. And if your company would like to become a sponsor, or if you have any questions about the campaign, you can reach out to me directly at nhood@thegritgame.com. You can also visit my Facebook or Instagram pages to learn more about the fundraiser, make a donation, or purchase the official fundraising apparel. And if sponsoring or donating isn't possible, sharing the fundraiser is just as meaningful. Every dollar helps. Every share makes a difference. And together, we can help ensure more children have the opportunity to learn this life-saving skill. Now let's jump into today's episode.
The 2026 Top 10 Mentors: Jeff Hamp, Chris Kavanaugh, Tim McDowell, Lacey Davis, Jerry Wallace, John Poma, Greg Beard, Terry Tamminen, Peter Wiederman.
Congratulations to the 2026 Talking Pools podcast Top 10 Pool Industry Mentors. Your willingness to teach, mentor, encourage, and elevate others has made a lasting impact on the swimming pool industry. These honorees were selected by the hosts of the Talking Pools podcast in recognition of the difference they have made in the lives and careers of pool professionals. The sponsors of the 2026 Talking Pools podcast Pool Industry Mentor recognition are Blu-ray XL, United Chemical, Lamont Company, Rev'd Up Apparel, and Aqua Comfort Water Group.
Welcome back to the Talking Pools podcast, your go-to source for everything wet, wild, and wonderfully misunderstood in the pool world. I'm Natalie Hood, Director of Education and Events for The Grit Game, and today we're going to have a fun one because I have someone joining me who really does not need much of an introduction in this industry, Eric Knight. And he has spent years combining education, water chemistry, technology, and probably a healthy amount of challenging the way we have always done things. Most recently, Eric served as executive director of Watershape University. And just recently, it was announced that he is stepping into a brand new role as head of education technology at Poolbrain. So Eric, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is the second time I've been on the show.
Yes, second time. You were on here just a couple months ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So before we get into all the serious stuff, I have to ask, how does it feel to finally have the news out in the industry that you're with Poolbrain?
It's good. It's good. I have been allowed, thanks to Adam and the team at Pool Brain, I've been allowed to offboard over the summer, which has been really nice of them. And it's been really good for Watershape. And I've made it a point in my career to not burn any bridges. There's no hard feelings whatsoever. I think it's going to be a win-win long-term for both groups. So as I was transitioning out, finishing certain classes, building that service track, and then onboarding, and most of what I've done in the summer is learn Pool Brain by being onboarded by their, I got to be honest, amazing support team.
Yeah.
I really wish we had a team like that when I was at Orenda, because we had so many calls and we were fielding them. But now that I'm seeing the value of that, I'm very impressed. But to be honest with you, it has been delightful being under the radar because nobody was calling me with questions about anything. You know, it was just Watershape stuff, and that was great. And so I feel like I've hit the ground running, ready to go, and I'm really excited for this fall and this upcoming show season.
Yeah, and it's going to be a fun one. So take me back a little bit. How did the conversation even start with Pool Brain?
Okay, well, I just recorded, I think it's episode 196 on the Rule Your Pool podcast that rolled out the same time this press release. And for the record, I did not want a press release. I don't think that's necessary for simply changing a job, but I was overruled. It wasn't my call. But the main conversation started, I think, in 21 or 22. It was actually right after COVID. So 2022, when I first...
Some time ago.
When I was first starting to work with Adam about integrating the Orenda calculator into Pool Brain. Now, at that time, Pool Brain was this kind of a startup, really. I mean, it had some customers, but it wasn't what it is today. And we sat down at the international show, and he basically laid out his vision for what he wanted his software to do. And I remember thinking, this guy is making some bold, like, audacious goals, which I love. I love boldness. I think it's going to be great for the industry, but it was kind of healthy skepticism of like, if he can pull it off, you know? Yeah. And he was saying some things like automating things to the point of being able to onboard people within a day or two instead of several weeks. I'm thinking, man, that would be so good for the industry, but how do you onboard that much knowledge? And at that time, of course, I was teaching chemistry at every show at companies all the time. I was a quite frequent flyer. And I was thinking, is he going to make what I do obsolete?
Right.
And but then in the back of my mind, I was like, no, I don't think it's going to make it obsolete, but I think it's going to just change and transform. And then fast forward with inflation and everything, travel costs are absurd. And so less and less people are visiting trade shows every year. They're starting to come maybe every other or every third year. That's what I've started to notice. And obviously, it's not everybody, but it's becoming cost prohibitive. That's the truth. It's becoming cost prohibitive to get education. And even if you do go to a trade show, you can only be in one classroom at a time. And there's a lot of classes simultaneously going on. So that's when it started, 2022. But the employment offer actually, that was not until, I want to say April, maybe. He just called me up out of the blue. I did not reach out to him. He called me up and repeated the same exact vision and said, I need someone to build it. We're ready to do this. And we started talking about how to tie in higher education, which of course is what I was doing at Watershape, and bring that into the future in a way that Watershape alone is not going to be capable of doing because it's not a software company. And I thought, oh, this kind of gets me back to the deep work that we did at Orenda when I was building the calculator and the app, when you have like a really complex problem set and it's not just busy work all the time. And I thought, man, this is a big challenge, what he's trying to do. And I can't discuss that on this show, but it'll roll out over the next couple of years. I'm up for the challenge. You know, in an era of AI with these tools, suddenly you put that kind of power in some amateur's hands like my own, and suddenly like it's a force multiplier. We can actually do a lot more. And he's got a very clear picture and sold me on that vision.
Yeah. No, I think what Pool Brain is doing is amazing. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that they're a little nervous that they think that maybe their job might be replaced by AI.
You know what time it is? Wednesday vibes on the Talking Pools podcast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sun up, tools out, route rolling fine, but I'm tuning in, yeah, Nally's on the line. Guess at the ready, stories that shine, from filters to heaters, they tell it in time. Hey,
legends are made. Laughs in the mix with the facts she lays. Every single segment got that reggae sway. Hey, Wednesday, Natalie lead the way. Talking pool sports, just make the week feel irate. Hey, Wednesday, knowledge starts to play. Natalie and the crew keep the blue water happy. Who run the midweek? Natalie. Who bring the deep speak? Natalie. Clear up the green streak? Natalie. Talking pools, turn it up, reality. So roll that rope and ride the tune. Wednesday waves be coming soon. Natalie, take the mic, boom. Talking pools, we're in the groove zone. Hey, Wednesday, Natalie lead the way. Talking pools, spot just make the week feel irate. Hey, Wednesday, knowledge start to play. Natalie and the crew keep the blue water happy. Hey, Wednesday, Natalie lead the way. Talking pools, podcast make the week feel irate. Hey, Wednesday, knowledge start to play. Natalie and the crew keep the blue water happy.
The future of our industry is shaped by those willing to invest in it. The following companies have stepped forward to support education, leadership, and mentorship across the swimming pool industry. These are the sponsors of the 2026 Talking Pools Podcast Mentor Award. Title sponsor, Blu-ray, XL. Title sponsor, United Chemical. Gold sponsor, Lamont Chemical. Silver sponsor, Revved Up Apparel. Supporting sponsor, Aqua Comfort Water Group. Thank you for helping us recognize and celebrate the mentors who continue to shape the future of the swimming pool industry, and God bless the Pool Pro.
Hey, Pool Pros, tired of roasting under the sun and gear that doesn't hold up? Revved Up Apparel has your back with SPF protected apparel made for the Pool Pro. Want to stand out from the competition? Done. No minimum orders, no inventory stress. We handle the design, posting, printing, and fulfillment, so you can focus on the grind. Whether you're a single puller or managing a whole fleet, we handle the design, posting, printing, and fulfillment, so you can focus on the grind. Whether you're a single puller or managing a whole fleet, this is how you gear up smart and stay sharp. Check out RevvedUpApparel.com. Built for the...
Hey Pool Pro, what if your pool pump knew the perfect speed to run? Meet Nautis VSF, the first adaptive flow pump with EcoFlow technology. It adjusts to real-time conditions to maintain constant flow, cut energy costs, and extend equipment life. No guesswork, just a smarter pool with Nautis VSF from H2 Flow. I know there's a lot of people out there that they're a little nervous that they think that maybe their job might be replaced by AI, but actually the tools that PoolBrain's bringing out is going to further assist them in their daily job, right?
You mean Pool Pros?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think Pool Pros are really at risk of being displaced by AI in the short term. I did an episode that was completely done by AI.
Yeah, I remember. It was cool. You sent it to me and I was like, dude, that was AI.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
it's scary what it can do, but you're not going to see AI netting a pool and cleaning out a strainer basket and replacing a pump and all that stuff. So those skills are still necessary, but it's going to augment the thinking part of it. It's going to augment the optimization of a route and how well a business performs and how well it markets itself locally and all these things. So AI is going to help pool service businesses. What is happening, to your point, is you're starting to see this influx of people from knowledge work positions, law firms, design firms, basically white collar jobs that, IT and whatever these other jobs are, that that AI is just wiping out their entire divisions, and now they need work. And so they're coming into the trades because they're thinking, all right, well, I don't want to go to another thing that's going to get displaced by AI. And I've met quite a few of these people that are now students at Watershape, and you can be bitter or you can be better. And they made good choices to come to a place that's not likely to get automated very quickly. And that is the trades. They came to the pool business. So and they're smart and they're here, they're hungry, they're learning, and they're already doing great things.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, again, if you had told me 5-10 years ago that AI was going to be this impactful in the industry, I wouldn't have believed you. And I was not heavily using AI 5 years ago, but now I've embraced it and it is helpful in certain areas. It's not good for everything, but you do need to embrace it because it's here and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. That's absolutely true. Scary, but true.
It is definitely scary. But so kind of going back to Watershape, when you look back at Watershape, what would you say is something that you are most proud of?
The team. That's an easy one. The team was incredible and everybody had skill sets of what they needed to do and what was built in such a short amount of time. Now, going into it, there wasn't actually a lot of systems and processes in place. There was a lot of really high quality instructors, very good presenters, good information, but it needed to be structured in such a way that the books matched the presentations better and that, customers could get, their transcripts, for instance, or, their badges for these certifications. And all those systems had to be built basically from scratch. And it happened largely thanks to Brett, who's the developer there, who learned a new system from zero when I came in. And now he's like extremely proficient in it. And now it's working very well. And of course, there's going to be ups and downs, but it's just a huge workload. Michelle, as the student sponsor and instructor liaison, is incredible. You have Marjorie there, who is she started as like marketing and graphics, but she's basically filled in every other role. Sloan, super well organized. Julie is managing on the business side. You have Eric doing the magazine, the other Eric Herman doing the Watershapes magazine. And then you have ownership and you have all these instructors that are getting involved as well. And so the team, basically, it was not a huge team, but the results were multiples of the inputs that we put into it. And like pulling off the education vacation, which had never been done, and you were there, and that had over 200 attendees, which was great for having something that had never been done outside of a trade show before. So I'm very happy about that. I'm proud of what the team accomplished.
Yeah. And I would say too, the one thing that I felt when I was there that you don't always find, and it's not very common these days, is I felt a family. I felt like it was family, right? You guys were a group, you were a team. And, when you think of Watershape, you think of a wolf pack, but that's the sense that I get. And even now to this day, it's a family, you're a team and you're a group.
Yeah. That's true. The cool thing about Watershape that attracted me to them when I first met them, of course, I was still with Arenda. I just wanted to teach chemistry. I was involved. I was actually pulled into the plaster class to teach the startup and the water and cement chemistry portions. And when I saw how those classes were taught, I was like, whoa, I thought I was teaching good classes. This is like a totally different echelon of education. Like they go so deep in these classes. I'm used to like seminars, Yeah. And when I saw that 16-hour class, my goodness, how does anybody teach that much? But what you realize when you teach 8, 16, 24-hour classes, you almost run out of time in some cases. There is a lot to it. And what really makes Watershape special is you have this brain trust really of the masters, the best who have ever done it in some cases, coming together, and they don't have to do this. Mm-hmm. They choose to do it. They choose to share their knowledge. It's an amazing thing. It's a great way to shortcut, I would say, knowledge, but not experience. You have to earn wisdom and experience, but the knowledge can kind of like keep you from straying and making the same bad mistakes that these really good instructors can warn you against, and it can keep you out of trouble. So I was very impressed with that. And in speaking with the students, it's pretty much unanimous when they take like Construction 2111 or the plaster class or something like that. They're all just blown away. Like I had no idea about, half of this I had never heard of or sometimes more. So it was very special in that regard. But what I said in my own podcast, and I'll say it again here, growing that mission, I'm all about. I'm still Team Woo for sure. But running the business of that is a very different skill set than I have. I don't have those skills. And that's why I made the decision, I need to get out of the way. I want Watershape to succeed. I was in the way. I didn't have the skills to do what they need. I don't have accounting skills. I'm not an operations person. And so stepping out of the way, I believe is best for the business. And, that takes some self-reflection for sure, but I make no bones about it. I know where I'm weak, and that is definitely where I'm weak. So I think we did a lot of great things there, and I hope that they continue, and I think they will. But as far as I know, I've left the place a lot better than I found it. At least I hope so. And, you'd have to ask them, but I think I did. And we're still in regular communication, so everything's good.
Yeah. And, I would absolutely agree. I've definitely seen a change in Watershape, and I think you're a big reason of that. And, one thing that I really appreciated in the announcement was how supportive everyone at Woo was with the move. And, even Bill, he described it as a great next step for the both of you. And I think it's important because people hear leaving and they immediately assume like, oh, there has to be some dramatic story.
There is not. There's
Right.
no drama. I know people want that, but that's actually not at all.
Yeah, they're always like, what's the tea spill? But sometimes it's just an opportunity is simply it's just the right it's the right next step, right?
Well, sometimes there's an opportunity that's a win-win. I was holding back the company, and I recognized that several months before I made the change. And I just needed to figure out how to best do that. And I think a lot of people that listen to this podcast either own their pool service business or maybe a construction company. Yeah. You feel that too. Like sometimes you have to recognize where you're weak. In most cases, what I'm learning, most business owners do not have finance forecasting skills, for instance. And you can outsource that or you have to hire it in. That's one of the first things that gets delegated is your accounting. And nobody can be great at everything. It's just not possible. And unfortunately, I just don't have those skills. And I thought the job was a little bit different. I thought it was more attuned to what I really like doing and I'm capable of, but it isn't. And that's fine. And I have to make the right choice. And I did, but there's no bad blood. I'm still texting with ownership and we're still on great terms and we're still going to be having classes at shows and everything's good.
Yeah. And I just have to say, I think that's awesome of you. I mean, again, I think the time that you spent at WU, I can see a massive difference. Like you said, there's no ill feelings. You're still in communication with Bill and Dave and the other instructors. And again, it's what people think. They're like, oh, hey, what's the tea? What's he doing over here?
Yeah. I've been getting a lot of those questions too.
Yeah. I mean, I got the same questions after I left the last company I was with for over a decade. They're like, spill the tea. There's no tea. It was time to move on. It is.
Well, companies change. That's true. And to that end, when I left Hasa and Arenda, I mean, I gave, 10 weeks notice, not 2. I finished trade show season. Like, I don't want to burn a bridge. I want to leave the place good. I don't want to screw anybody over. I love my team. I still talk to my team. By their grace, they keep me in their funny text message group. So that's really nice. They don't have to do that, but they do for some reason. But I feel the same way about Watershape. It's still a great team and I still want to contribute how I can. But I also have a baby at home and I need to have time in the day to be with my child because she's only going to be this young once. And I was working, no joke, 12, 13-hour days, several days a week, trying to do, there's just so much to do that I wasn't good at. So I couldn't get it done in an efficient manner. And it wore me down, to be honest with you. It wore me down because I was frustrated because I didn't have the skills. So I wasn't just working a lot. I was working on things that I'm not good at doing. Whereas
that's frustrating.
Right. And just in the past couple of weeks of really getting into the work at Pool Brain, it fits right into my encodings. Like it's so aligned with how my brain works that I've been able to produce an amazing amount of work that you'll see over the next year already. Yeah, we've laid a foundation that's really, really good. So I'm enjoying it very much.
And, that's better for the industry too. And it's better for you overall because that means you're excited and you're clear-headed, right? I mean, no one's happy when they're miserable.
Oh, I didn't say I was miserable. I said I was weak in the, I was weak in the position. Yeah, I was not miserable. I was just like, I'm letting myself down. Like, what am I doing wrong? I don't get this. So that's what it is.
Yeah. And I maybe it was, that was a horrible word to use. That internal battle where you're trying to do something and you just don't have all the tools.
Well, you were a swimmer. This would be like me trying to swim the 200 butterfly over and over again on repeats. I was not a butterflyer.
I was not a butterfly. I was breaststroke. I actually tried butterfly the other day. No.
What a mistake. But like, can I do it? Yeah, but it's ugly. It's painful. I'm injury prone. Like it's not fast. It's exhausting. And then, some teammates can't do breaststroke. So like, you got to know where you're good at. And I'm not good at a lot of things, but I like to focus on the few things that I am. And hopefully that adds value to people.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's funny that you said butterfly. I actually, out of curiosity at the end of my workout this morning, I was like, I'm going to try butterfly. I got one stroke in and I was like, we're done here. We're done here. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I made that decision 12 years ago and I haven't looked back. So that's good.
Yeah. We won't be doing that again. We'll stick to what I know.
Smart. Keep your shoulders intact. I like that.
Yes. Right. So, one thing I've noticed, you have this habit of getting involved in things where education and technology start running into each other, right? So you helped develop the Orenda calculator, swimmer head. All right. You created the educational content and the Rule Your Pool podcast, and then you went to Watershape University, and now your actual title has the words education technology in it. So have you basically been working toward this job without realizing it?
That's a deep question.
Yeah.
I've never cared about titles. I still don't. I did not pick the title, but I think it does describe what Adam has hired me to do. And yeah, I think both of those fit the encoding. So basically, I'm not a developer. Designing the Orenda calculator and architecting it is a different skill than writing code. What I learned to do is listen to customers and find out what's hurting them. What is the gap? What's wrong? What do they need? What's missing? And then I look at all those options out there and say, well, what are they missing? And so the Orenda calculator was not my idea. That was Harold's idea. And it was his money. It was his personal money that funded that in the early days because Orenda was very small at the time. And I had just come from an app startup, but I wasn't developing. But I was learning how to structure an app and things. And so he said there needs to be a good calculator, and it'll be really cool if we can somehow tie that in with the LSI. And I didn't know what the LSI was. I didn't even know how to use a test kit at the time. I was learning, but I didn't know. And what had never been done, there was an LSI calculator. I think there was a few of them out there. And there are certainly websites that had it, like Lentech was one of the best ones out there. But at that time, nobody was tying that in with chemical dosing at the same time. And so I spent a lot of time trying to hash this out in my brain. How could we do both? Because you only have so much pixels on a screen. So you have limited finite space and you don't want to have to scroll on an app. And then it became very clear. LSI is a real-time reading vertically. Chemical dosing is going to be horizontal. This to this yields whatever the difference is. And that same logic went into the chemiculator, which is in the menu. If you go to other calculators, that was like, believe it or not, that was a bigger project than the Orenda calculator. A lot of people don't even know it's there. But that chemiculator is incredibly powerful because it does the math backwards that says, all right, instead of starting at this part per million to a desired part per million, it allows a pro to answer the question, well, I have this gallon of liquid chlorine. What is that going to do to this pool that is 8,700 gallons or whatever? Or I have this bag of shock. What is that going to do to my pool if I put it all in? And so you can actually just put in a quantity of a certain product at its percentage, like liquid, it has a toggle for like 12.5%. And then you put in the quantity and then it'll tell you the parts per million change. So it just does the math backwards, but that's actually for the people that know about it, and listeners, now you know about it, the chemiculator in the main menu of the Orenda app, they use that all the time because that's like a quick way to know, hey, I need to shock the pool. Can I round up? Is it going to be too high? That kind of thing. Or better yet, I've got a 50-pound bag of calcium chloride and it's winterization time. How much calcium is this going to put in my pool? And you can find out just like that. And so, yeah, that same kind of logic applies. So what that problem was that the Orenda calculator solves is nobody has time to do the math. Like you can do dosing charts and those are great. However, realistically, this is a tough business and you can't be spending excess minutes in the backyard just trying to crunch numbers in your head. And as a result of that, the industry developed a lot of shortcut habits and a lot of them were fine, but a lot of them were not. They were overdosing acid. And this is one of the more controversial things that I said. Still do it today. Measure and dilute your acid, people. And it's not me trying to criticize you. It's me understanding what that's actually doing. When you overdose or you don't dilute your acid enough, it goes to the bottom. It can etch a cement surface. It can cause a vinyl liner to weaken and eventually wrinkle, lose pigment. All these things, they're consequences. We're trying to look out for you. That a lot of pros just developed habits because they have to get to the next pool. Right. So what the calculator does is it just like shortcuts that. And then fast forward, PoolBrain and other softwares took that calculator on a licensing agreement with Orenda when we were there. That's how I met Adam. And they allowed you to save results. They allowed you to save chemical history. They allowed you to put it into an account so you could actually forecast things. I mean, they took it to a much higher level than we could ever do. And that's one of the things I'm looking back, I'm really most proud of impacting the industry in that regard, because that tool is now the basis of chemistry dosing, and it's extremely accurate, and I'm really happy about that.
And I have to say, buddy, you are damn good at doing that, because I would not be able to do something like that.
Well, I appreciate it. But again, it's not me. There's a team around it. We come up with concepts, and then it's really just figuring out how a user would use it. And then, I didn't do the formulas. We have outsourced consultants for that. Right. But the user experience is really what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, I think that's amazing. And I think what you're going to be doing at PoolBrain is so exciting. And it kind of brings me back to the announcement, right? Because they mentioned 3 things and they stood out at me. And it was automated water chemistry dosing, guided training workflows. And then it pointed out, point of need education.
Point of need, yeah.
Thank you. Point of need education. And so what does that look like? And I know you can't say too much, but what does that look like for the technician in the field, right?
Don't worry, Adam, because Adam told me, don't promise any deliverables, promise any dates, because we don't know. There's always testing, and we don't control speed of delivers. No, trust me, Adam, I know. So, all right, what was the first thing? You had the 3 things. You had
automated water chemistry dosing.
And then the second one was workflows, and the last one was point of need. Okay, so let me start with the last one first.
Okay.
The point of need is basically right here, right now, you need to know something. You can't wait till the next trade show. You can read help centers, you can do all that stuff, but like right now, at this point, you need something. How do you access that information very, very quickly? That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
It is not built yet. It's a much bigger project than it sounds, but that is a cogent way of explaining that.
I will take it.
Okay. So in terms of automating chemistry, so if let's say the brain of PoolBrain, right? It is ultimately it's a database. If you know the information about a pool, like the gallonage, the surface type, and a few other things, then with the power of computing, you can set parameters at an administrator's level, meaning a service manager or a business owner can say, hey, in my business, we run pools this way. And at its very basic level, what it does is it tells you, however you test the water, you put that in, whatever you are, it will tell you in order how to get to the desired things that your company wants you to do. And it does this automatically. So that way the service tech doesn't need to figure out where to aim. Because in the Arena calculator, you have to decide where to aim, right? Like you have to have a lot of intuition to understand where to even aim these dials, because it's not very simple if you've never done it before. Whereas this is the service tech who may not understand chemistry yet, immediately is told exactly where to aim and how much to get there. And
it's helpful.
Extremely helpful.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's basically what that is. And that guided workflow is just one piece of a bigger thing. For instance, if you have to close the gate behind you, I've been doing a bunch of demos with this. PoolBrain requires you, or your company owner, the administrator who's handling the dashboard of PoolBrain, can require a photo showing that you closed the gate before you can move on, right? And so it walks you through every step of the service visit. Clean the net. Take a picture, or not the net, the skimmer basket. Take a picture showing that you emptied the skimmer basket, right? Yeah. And you don't always have to have the company decides how much photos you require, and they decide every step.
Yeah.
But that's a guided workflow for somebody who doesn't have experience. What order should they do things in? So it'll say, test these parameters today, input them here, and then add these chemicals this way. And that's only going to get better. And so to follow on with that is the education to show demonstrated how it's done, whether that's videos or images or graphics, or we don't know yet. I haven't built it yet, but we want to make sure that pros are given all the tools to do the right things in the right order. And that's what a guided workflow is. And PoolBrain already has that. We're just going to make the chemistry a lot more intuitive and a lot more forecasting, so to speak.
And that's brilliant, because that's one thing, and you and I've talked about this before. I mean, long before this conversation, but that is one thing this industry is truly missing, and it's customer service and support for the pool pro, right? There's just, I think there's such a gap of education. They go out and they get a certificate and they're like, all right, I'm prepared. But actually, there is so much more education that they need to get to better understand how to properly run a route.
Tune in next Wednesday for part 2 of this episode with Eric Knight of PoolBrain and learn more about his role at this pool service software giant.
I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you for listening today. I'm hoping you enjoyed the episode as much as we enjoyed putting it together for you. Listen, it's been a couple of wacky, crazy, screwed up years from pandemic to Poolmageddon. I just want you to know that we are all in this together. If there's anything that we can do for you, send me an email at talkingpools@gmail.com. Again, that's talkingpools@gmail.com. We're here. This is your podcast. We are the Pool People's podcast, of the pool people, for the pool people, by the pool people's podcast. This one is about you. So thank you for tuning in and listening. Do me a favor, click subscribe before you go. That way you don't miss an episode.